Well, moving forward, there is a presentation for which I'll talk about. With all these fantastic opportunities for us as DPOs, our biggest challenge remains upgrading skill sets. For this, I would like to welcome on stage Ms. Alka Tiwari, who is the Head of Learning and Development at Next Digital, to guide us on what we need to help and partners to operate, become true digital champions. Over to you, Alka.
So all through the day we've been dwelling on emerging trends. We've been dwelling on broadband over satellite, enterprise, metaverse, etc. Now, the common thread that is running all across is change, constant change, evolution, shifting paradigms, new technologies, new products and services. Now, all this is great, but finally, from the business perspective, unless it actually reaches the end consumer, it doesn't work too well. So how do we reach it to the end consumer? Obviously, through our most valuable assets, which are our operators. Now, Next Digital has initiated Next Sangram. Now, what is Next Sangram? Next Sangram is a challenging initiative that we have undertaken to train operators pan-India. And what is the aim of the Next Sangram project? It's basically aimed towards turning cable operators into digital services providers, and hence digital champions of their communities. So we have been running these programs all across the country. Now, the other thing is that this program is not limited to Next Digital operators. This is open to all operators across the industry, whether they choose to tie up with Next Digital or not. And why? Because the aim is to bring about a paradigm shift in the industry. Now, to this end, we have also tied up with NIIT, who have a pan-India presence, and they have experience in training over decades. So their trainers are running these programs all across the country. And I really don't want to talk too much about Next Sangram, because I would like you to hear it from the participants themselves. So we would like to hear it from the operators who have attended this 2-day training across the country. And so you can hear their views. You can also get a glimpse of how these sessions are being conducted. So I would request that we have the AV for Next Sangram. And I would also request that, because it has been recorded on site, so if the audio can be tweaked to ensure we can hear all.
से हमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा कुछ सीखने को मिला यार। जो चीज़ें हम इनके फ्यूचर प्रोडक्ट्स के बारे में नहीं जानते थे, हम उन सब के बारे में जान पाए, जिससे कि हम अपनी आने वाले टाइम में इनकम को किस तरीके से बढ़ा पाएंगे, हमें इस तरीके की जानकारी भी हुई है। साथ ही हमें टेक्निकली चीज़ों को भी, कई चीज़ों को समझने का मौका मिला है, और मैं इस तरीके के प्रोग्राम्स के बहुत ज़्यादा फेवर में हूँ। मैं चाहूँगा कि NXT कंपनी इस तरीके के प्रोग्राम इन फ्यूचर भी ऑर्गेनाइज करती रहे, ताकि ऑपरेटर्स उस चीज़ से अपडेट होते रहे।
ये जो हम लोगों का प्रोग्राम हुआ NXT के एंड से, इंतज़ा ग्रुप के ओर से, जो हम लोगों का ये आयोजन हुआ संग्राम, जो हम लोगों को अपने मॉरल को जो डाउन हो चुका था, उस मॉरल को उठाने के लिए सबसे अच्छा वर्किंग ये हुआ कि हमारे इस कंपनी ने हमको बैक एंड से हमको एक बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट दिया। इन्होंने जिस तरीके 2 दिन का आयोजन करके जिस तरीके से इन्होंने माहौल को बनाया, जिस तरीके कम से कम जिसका मॉरल डाउन हो चुका था, सारे केबल ऑपरेटर की मॉरल डाउन था और कोई आगे बढ़ने की सोच नहीं रहा था, अब वो आगे बढ़ने की सोचेगा और आगे बढ़ के कुछ दिखाएगा, कुछ करेगा।
2 दिन से हमारा जो नेक्स्ट वन डिजिटल नेक्स्ट संग्राम का जो ट्रेनिंग पूरा हुआ, इससे हमें बहुत खुशी हुई। इससे हमें बहुत एडवांस कुछ सीखने मिला। कस्टमर के साथ कैसा जाके बात करें, कैसा बिहेव करें और कैसा अपना बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाएं, नए नए आइडिया मिले।
శ్రీరామ్ సురేష్, ఇల్లందు కేబుల్ ఆపరేటర్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ ఇన్ ఇల్లందు. మేము ఈ ఎన్ఎక్స్టీ వారు ఏర్పాటు చేసిన వన్ డిజిటల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ద్వారా మేము ఈ మీటింగ్ ద్వారా నేర్చుకున్నటువంటి ఈ అన్ని విషయాలు పబ్లిక్ వైజ్గా ముందుకు తీసుకుపోవడానికి చాలా సహకరించే విధంగా ఉన్నాయని, ప్లస్ ఈ కాంబో ప్యాక్ విధంగా సార్ చెప్పినటువంటి ఈ రూల్స్ మాకు రాబోయే ఫ్యూచర్లో లైఫ్ని ఇస్తాయని మా హృదయపూర్వకంగా చెప్పుకుంటున్నాం. ఇలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇంకా ఏర్పాటు చేసే ఎన్ఎస్టీ డిజిటల్ వారు మమ్మల్ని నెట్ పరంగా ముందుకు తీసుకుపోగలుగుతారని ఆశిస్తున్నాం.
So you just heard Mr. Subir Sarkar on the video here. Now we are very fortunate that Subirji is here with us. He is our partner from Allahabad and he has come all the way from there to share his perspective and his views. We are also glad that we have with us Ms. Sharon George, who is the Associate Vice President from NIIT. So she is spearheading the Next Sangram program from NIT's side, and she would also be sharing her perspective. So I would like to invite Sharon and Subirji on the stage, please.
नमस्ते.
तो शुरू करते हैं आपसे सुबीर जी. हमने आपका अभी वीडियो देखा और उसमें आपने बोला कि आप और आपके और भी केबल ऑपरेटर्स का मोटिवेशन बहुत लो था.
जी हाँ.
तो ऐसा क्यों?
बेसिक रीज़न तो ये था कि बड़े बड़े नेटवर्क्स हम लोगों के सामने खड़े थे और जिसके सामने हम लोगों को कोई भी बात को कहना सुनना पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं थी और हम लोगों को ये समझ में आ रहा था हम लोगों का व्यवसाय ख़त्म हो गया. लेकिन ये है कि नेक्स्ट संग्राम जब से आपका प्रोग्राम शुरू हुआ वहाँ पे, तब से वो चीज़ हम लोग को जागरूकता बढ़ी कि हम लोग किस तरीके से हम लोग आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. अच्छी से अच्छी चीज़ें आप लोगों ने बताया. हमारे सामने नई चीज़ें आई. केबल टीवी, हम लोग केबल टीवी और नेक्स्ट आपके नेट के भरोसे थे, लेकिन अब आपका सीसीडी कैमरा आया है, वॉइस आया है, कई चीज़ें एक ही छतरी के नीचे आ गया है, जिसमें कि हम लोग को 4 पैसा कमाने की हम लोग को संभवता है. और पहले तो ये चीज़ सारी चीज़ें ख़त्म हो गई थी और रेट भी आप लोगों का बहुत बेटर है अदर्स कंपनी से, तो इज़ ए बेटर.
Okay. So Sharon, you heard Subir ji right now. So he is talking about the fact how the motivation levels have increased. I would like to ask you that what has been NIT's experience in associating with Next Digital and in running the Next Sangram program across the country? What is it that you're hearing from your trainers across the country?
Yeah. So thanks, Alka. Like Subir ji, our trainers also come back at the end of the day and they share how enthusiastically all the operators are participating. First of all, when we were designing the programs, we got a lot of inputs from Next Digital, which helped us understand the different locations, what are the products, how do we take it. So, but when we went to the field, we realized, we were apprehensive. Should we do a 2-day program? Will they participate? Will there be participation? But it was so fantastic to see the operators participating and, learning. So they would thank the trainer at the end of the day. That brought the trainer's motivation up and the trainer wanted to do better. And we as NIT are really happy to be part of such a large initiative, which you all have invested so much in. And we also want to keep modifying and taking better to the operators.
Yeah, as you say, it is a very large initiative. And, in terms of the size of it and the largeness of it, I think this is the first that is being kind of done in this industry. तो सुबीर जी, आपसे आगे ये पूछना चाहेंगे कि ये जो आपको मोटिवेशन मिला नेक्स्ट संग्राम से और जो इनपुट्स मिले आपको, उसको आप किस तरह यूज़ कर सकते हो अपना बिजनेस को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए?
सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि ये नेटवर्क को साथ जो हम लोग चलेंगे तो इसमें हम लोगों को इस तरीके से कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, कस्टमर्स को कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं कि हमसे एक ही उसमें कितने अच्छे अच्छे चीज़ मिले और किस तरीके से हम लोग चल सकते हैं। जैसे कि आपने कहा कि ऐसा है कि किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ेंगे। नेचुरल बात यह है कि कस्टमर से डीलिंग खुद से करनी पड़ेगी, जाएंगे, बात करेंगे कि किस तरीके से हमको बेटर से बेटर अच्छी चीज़ सुविधाएं मैं आपको दे रहा हूं, उनसे बढ़ के मैं इसको दे रहा हूं, तो आप इसको प्रोवाइड कराइए। एज ए केबल ऑपरेटर मैं ये जान रहा हूं कि ऐसा है कि एक केबल ऑपरेटर जिस तरीके से कस्टमर्स को हैंडलिंग कर लेता है, शायद ऊपर के लोग कर सकते हैं। तो लिहाजा ये बेटर रहेगा कि ऐसा है कि इनको हम लोग को आप लोग के एंड से इसी तरीके से प्रोग्राम से के द्वारा सपोर्ट मिले और हम लोग आगे बढ़ते रहें।
So, Sharon, in your experience and in the trainer's experience, what are the two things in the program that have connected very well with the operators? What do you find?
Yeah, so, first of all, we do, since you mentioned it's an experiential program, everything is activity-based, role-play-based. So everybody connects, but the exercise where you actually do the calculation, you do the pricing, you see how do I benefit as an operator, that connected the best was one of the points. Yes. And secondly, we coined an acronym together where how do you go to the customer and probe and, actually connect with the customer.
जिस तरीके से हम लोगों को वहाँ पे आपके संग्राम के प्रोग्राम में ये हम लोगों को दिखाया गया कि हम लोग 4 पिलर बना चुके हैं। एक पिलर किस तरीके से हम लोग इसको बना सकते हैं, एक दूसरे के सपोर्टिंग करके, एक दूसरे के कैसे हम लोग सपोर्ट करें, सपोर्ट करके हम लोग आगे बना सकें। इसी तरीके से अपना विल पावर बढ़ाने के लिए हम लोग ने सोचा कि भाई एक क्लैपिंग में 1 सेकंड में हो सकता है, बहुत ज़्यादा 60 सेकंड में 60 हो सकते हैं, लेकिन हम लोग ने 240 तक क्लैपिंग की। नेचुरल बात है, हम लोग में वो संघर्ष हम लोग को दिखाया गया कि हम लोग किस तरीके से हम लोग इससे ज़्यादा कहीं ज़्यादा हम लोग वर्किंग कर सकते हैं। जब वर्किंग करने की कैपेसिटी है तो उसको इसी में क्यों नहीं पूरी तरीके से किया जाए।
Yeah. So what Subirji is talking over here is basically about the kind of activities that we were doing over there. Yeah. So Sharon, could you throw a little more light on the methodology?
Yeah, so one is the activities. You asked me 2 points, so I didn't come to the second point actually. The second point which interests the operators is the roadmap. So what can we do next? What products are coming? How can we combine them together? And today I think also even I was happy to look at next play and how in One Digital you can have so many facilities. I think that excites the operators a lot. Looking that you're thinking of the future. So,
सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि हम लोग को इसमें आपके इसके द्वारा हम लोग को आगे बढ़ने का अपना फ्यूचर प्लान समझ में आ गया मुझे कि अपने को मुझे लग रहा था कि बस यहीं पे अंत है, लेकिन यहाँ पे अंत नहीं, यहाँ से तो शुरू है। ये एक प्रकार से डूबते को तिनके का सहारा मिल गया। बस आप लोगों की यही चीज़ सबसे बड़ी अच्छी बात लगी कि नेक्स्ट डिजिटल से हम लोगों को डूबते तिनके का सहारा मिल गया कि केबल ऑपरेटर फिर से, अगर केबल ऑपरेटर जागेंगे तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर भी रहेगा, आपके फ्रेंचाइजर भी रहेंगे, सब लोग रहेंगे, लेकिन केबल ऑपरेटर को रहना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। बड़े बड़े आपके कंपनीज़ के लोग आते हैं, अपनी अपनी प्लान समझाते हैं, प्लान समझाने के बाद केबल ऑपरेटर को काम लेके दरकिनार कर देते हैं। लेकिन अब केबल ऑपरेटर जाग गया है, आप लोगों के द्वारा जागा है, तो नेचुरल बात यह है कि जितना बेटर काम अब करेगा भविष्य में करेगा, और यही सोचेगा कि किस तरीके से हम इस चीज़ को पूरी तरीके से करें।
बहुत बढ़िया। तो हम यहाँ पे ना बहुत सारा ये माइंडसेट शिफ्ट, पैराडाइम शिफ्ट के बारे में बात करते हैं। अगर हम आपसे पूछे पर्सनली आपके माइंड में ऐसा शिफ्ट हुआ है तो कैसा शिफ्ट हुआ है?
पहली बात ये कि हम लोगों को एक बॉन्ड पे हम लोगों को रख दिया गया था। ज़माने से केबल ऑपरेटर को एक बॉन्डिंग में रखा गया था कि, लेकिन ये है कि अब उससे कुछ हटके हम लोगों को दिखाया गया कि हम लोग इससे आगे बढ़ के तरीके से हम लोगों को इसको चल सकते हैं। तो ये चीज़ें दिखाई गई हैं, और इसी को आप पैराडाइम सेट जो बताते हैं कि ये जो हम लोग ये जो एक उसमें है, इसमें हम लोग आगे बढ़ें, यहाँ से हट के यहाँ तक कितने सारे प्रोग्राम्स हैं, इसके आगे ये भी प्रोग्राम्स हैं, इसको भी करें, आगे बढ़ें। तो वही सारी चीज़ें हमको इसमें समझ में आई है।
Thank you. When did we actually think that we would hear paradigms and paradigm shifts coming from the cable operators themselves? I think that itself has been a huge shift in itself. Sharon, could you also share, things that may have been happening? You're doing such initiatives perhaps with other industries, other companies. Can you share anything about some similar programs that you've been doing?
Yeah. So we do, so I belong to the sales and service vertical of NIT, where we cater to organizations who are looking to help their sales teams, service teams. So we have worked with Intel, but not like Intel for the large, Intel to help them with the small, the small distributors and the small shops which they actually have to sell the Intel products, with Ticona, with Hindustan Unilever for their distributors. So pan-India, since we have trainers, like we've done so many programs, Hyderabad, Udaipur, don't ask me. I think half the names Alka was telling me, which I also forgot. But we've done in so many places. What's important is that they can connect with the local person and in terms of language, culture, and therefore help them in taking the sales and service to their customers. So that's very important from this initiative. That's what I feel.
Yeah, in fact, just to help Sharon with the names, so we have done these programs naturally in all the major cities and in Bombay and in Hyderabad and in Delhi and in Calcutta. But we've also done in places like Udaipur, Allahabad, where Subirji is from, and then in Telangana in many places such as Khammam, Dhone, Devarakonda. I don't think I can remember all the names, but we've been doing it in several places across the country. And of course, we will be continuing to do this much more. And सुबीर जी, आपको लगता है कि अब आप आगे तेजी से बढ़ सकेंगे?
100% मैम, 100% हम निश्चित आगे बढ़ेंगे. और जो हम लोग का आपके जाने से पहले जो हम लोग ने सोच लिया था, हम लोग ख़त्म हो गए हैं. अब हम लोग ख़त्म नहीं हुए हैं, अब बहुत आगे जाएंगे. और यही मेरा, अब तो बोलते ना कि केबल ऑपरेटर कहा जाता था कोएक्सिल के बाद ख़त्म, तो अब तो मुझे लगता है कि फाइबर के बाद फाइबर स्टैंड है आपका सबसे आगे है. और इसीलिए हम लोग भी हैं, लास्ट तक रहेंगे आप लोगों के साथ. और ये समझ में आता है कि बहुत अच्छा ढंग से आपने समझाया है, बताया है. इसी तरह पूरे ऑल ओवर माने इंडिया के ऑपरेटर्स को अगर आप लोग इसी तरीके से समझाते हैं और बताते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि कम से कम कुछ नहीं तो 30 से 40% ऑपरेटर्स इस बात को समझेंगे और इसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे. लेकिन ऑपरेटर्स के साथ भी कुछ अपनी परेशानियां हैं, उसको भी थोड़ा सा सॉर्ट आउट आप ही लोगों को करना पड़ेगा.
Of course, naturally. So here you have heard about Next Sangram from the trainee as well as the trainer. The whole aim being to broaden the mindset of the operator, to change the mindset, enable them to see the larger vision so that they can generate more revenues and get more margins. Thank you, Subirji. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Please.
So can we have the summary slide, please? Can we have the slide? Thank you. Right, so I think you would have got a fair idea of what Next Sangram is all about. Here, I'm just summarizing what are the objectives, just so that we look at it in a focused manner. However, while doing this, I would also like to say that in this room, the collective wisdom and the experience that we have is phenomenal. And the objectives that we have put down here is based on our experience and the challenges that we have seen. But we would be very happy and very grateful if you can give us inputs so that we can continue to tweak the program to make it more and more applicable to the industry. So summarizing here, you heard Subirji himself talk about the paradigm shift. That is the major focus, because without that, the rest of it really doesn't work. So all through the day, we have seen how things are changing. And similarly, if you look at the next digital roadmap, that is also shifting, and the paradigm shift is happening there as well. And that is a paradigm shift that we also need to take to the operators, and which we can see is happening. And that is really very heartening to see. And we've talked throughout, the smart homes, the various things that can be offered, be it edutech, fintech, gaming, etc. all of that can be added to the operators' offerings so that they can increase their margins and their revenues. Most importantly, always is the what's in it for me. Everyone is really, and that is what they should really be concerned about. And that is where we focus on, as you heard Sharon also speak. We do examples where they calculate themselves and they can see for themselves how is it that their margins and revenues can increase. So if they have a certain subscriber base, if they increase it to a combination of offerings, say by converting 25% or 50%, then the margins and revenue shoot up by perhaps 30%, 60%. If they add more customers, it shoots up even more. So when they can calculate for themselves and see what's happening, it's really very motivating for them. Now, when we come up to selling skills and customer relations, obviously these are people who have been on the field for decades themselves. So what we are really doing is fine-tuning how they sell, ensuring that they have a greater focus on finding out customer needs, because that is what finally leads them to offer the combination of products when they have a good understanding of what an entire household needs, and hence get a greater wallet share from a particular household. So, and finally, we are talking about converting them to digital services providers and hence digital champions. So what we are saying is that yes, there are products and there are offerings, etc. But finally, we want the cable operator to become the one-stop shop for everything digital in his or her community, which means we are also arming them and giving them inputs on things which may be outside what we offer. So it could be very simple things. Things which you find in a community, someone goes to the local Kirana store or goes to the local Xerox store to get their work done, because a lot of people are not very tech savvy. So why can't everything converge on the operator? Why can't he use it to build his relationships? So which is why we give them those inputs also, as well as digital marketing. Almost all of them are using WhatsApp, but almost none of them would be using WhatsApp Business, for example. Facebook, Instagram, very, very few operators are actually using it to promote their business, which is very cost effective, probably zero cost in most of the cases. So we are equipping them with all of that as well. And this is not the end. In the second phase, we are also getting into details of technical training, detailed broadband training, which will arm them even more. So that is what we are doing in this program. And I would be very happy to answer questions if there are any, and any suggestions so that we can refine it further. The other thing also that I would like to extend is that if anyone would wish to undertake an initiative like this, we would be very happy to, to give our support and give any help that may be required. So that's all from me. Thank you.